Hello, my name is Nigel Garcia, and the name for this project is called What is Art For? Um, Art has been around for many years. It's when people I feel like when most people think about art, they think straight to the point of a painting. But art can be described in many ways as in architecture, performing arts, and what I like about art is that it's simple, gets straight to the point, but each piece of art has a deeper meaning. Like it seems so easy to be made, but there's so much work and thought put into the pieces of art. And and when looking at art, it can give you emotions, and you can start to have a deeper connection with the art. And some of the emotions that you can get is hope. You can feel hopeful, or you can feel energetic or lonely, or um or sometimes propaganda is used in art. And to begin, one of the emotions you can get is you can feel hope. And one of the pieces of art for hope, I use the Belvedere window. The name of this architecture is called the Belvedere window. It was created in the Chartres Cathedral, which is located in France. Most windows in the cathedral were made up around 25 to 30 individual panels. Um, and each panel was showing like an episode, and those episodes were religious because it was in the cathedral. And for example, here the blue version instead includes a larger image made up of 5 panels surrounded by angels. And just in the lower part there are some episodes with a total of 24 panels. And the year that it was made was around 1150, and around 1225 they were improving the painting. And the medium of this art is stained glass, and it was created because in 1194 a fire destroyed the cathedral, and and the window survived from the fire. And the blue version and large windows at the west end were the only ones deemed that were worth using by the 13th century glazier master. So actually the windows survived, and it's basically a composite. And I selected this work of art because it filled the interior, or in the churches, it filled the interior with a mystical colored light representing the Holy Spirit, and it illustrated the stories of the Bible for a large majority of people who couldn't read. So back then, this is how do I say it was revolutionary because people couldn't read. So so people could like look at pictures and see what was happening. They didn't have to read to what was happening. They could just see it. Um, I believe this piece of art is connected with hope because even though the cathedral was in flames, the window survived and maintained itself to stay pretty. And prettiness is an emblem of hope. Second feeling that you can get from looking at art is loneliness. And for this example, I use the St. Matthew from the Igbo Gospels. The name of this painting is called St. Matthew from the Igbo Gospels. The Igbo Gospels were made in 816 in the Benedictine Abbey of Hoopvillers for Igbo. The author portrait of St. Matthew is shows a characteristic of the Carolingian art and the Carolingian Renaissance. The medium is a painting, and in the painting, if you pay close attention, um, it used swift brushstrokes, and the brushwork of the author's portraits can be described as energetic, but he wanted to change it up and wanted to give the vibe of you feeling like lonely or stressed. And the artist remains attentive to the use of highlighting and shadow to create three-dimensional forms, but does that with texture rather than smooth, which created an effect of movement. Um, this painting was created because the artists of the Coronation Gospels were interested in the revival of classical styles. And in the picture, the classical style is evident in the poses, the clothing, and recalled the images of the ancient Roman philosophers. I selected this painting because when I looked at this painting, I got a feeling of isolation because Matthew seems like he's like by himself, stressed out, maybe like seems like he wants help. And as you can see in the picture, Matthew is hunched down, frantically writing, and he looks like he's not relaxed and wants some help. And right as I seen that picture, I just got that feeling of loneliness because he's just by himself, and I think it's a very good example. Lastly, is propaganda. Propaganda is still used to this day for fun, political reasons, and it's a good way to draw people's attentions. And a good example for propaganda was the painting called Emperor Justinian and His Courtiers. In this painting, Mosaic Justinian is posed frontally in the center, right here, right here, and he is haloed and wears a crown and a purple emperor robe. He is flanked by members of the Curie on his left, with the most prominent figure, the Bishop Maximus of Ravenna, being labeled with an inscription. To Justinian's right, there's members of the imperial administration identified by the purple stripe, and at the very left side of the mosaic appears a group of soldiers. This mosaic establishes the central position of the emperor between the power of the church and the power of the imperial administration and military. Like the Roman emperors of the past, Justinian has a religious, administrative, and military authority. Uh, the medium is a painting, and it was created to make a companion piece to Empress Theodora and her attendants. The painting was created around 547 AD in Ravenna, Italy, at a church called San Vitelli. I selected this work of art to serve as propaganda because the propaganda in this is that Justinian sought to restore the territorial boundaries of the empire, and he did that through a painting. And as a Christian emperor, he saw himself as a defender of the faith. As such, it was his duty to establish religious uniformity throughout the empire. Thank you, and I hope